Hello, the aim of this video is to show you how to install the Exo-Striker toolbox on Windows machine. I got number of complaints that people cannot install the Exo-Striker on natively on Windows, and unfortunately there are some caveats, there are some problems still with the new Python 3.12 and 3.13, which still is not building the binaries, the DLL binaries correctly. So today the video will only cover installation under Python 3.10 and a little lower version than the recent version that is available on the pip. So just a few words about my setup here. I have a Windows machine installed on the VirtualBox, so I have a virtual machine, so things will work a little slower than if you have a pure Windows operational system. And I have another one which will be our test bench. So basically this is a virtual machine with Windows 11 that is clean, that was just installed, so hopefully everything works smoothly. I already installed the Exo-Striker here, as you can see, so the idea is to click to the shortcut just as an Ubuntu app, and hopefully, as I said, it's a little slower, but eventually the GUI will power up. Here, okay, something happened. Here it is. Keep in mind that this, like I said, this is still a development version, and what we will install today it's only version 0.92. Under Linux, so my host is Linux machine. The Exo-Striker is installed pretty easily. For example, also works with Python 3.13. If you have like a pip, you can install Exo-Striker. Okay, so I already have it, that's why it was so quick. But if you type Exo-Striker, you can actually have a fully functional version on the Linux. So you see that the version here under Linux and macOS is a little higher. Unfortunately, this is still not working on Windows, but we will make sure that in the next couple of weeks, or as soon as possible, we make the newest version of Exo-Striker also available on the Windows. Okay, so how that works, just to illustrate, I mean, under Windows everything is functional. For instance, you can import data, you can do periodograms, yeah, everything is smooth as in Linux. Sorry that the graphic is not so good. I think this was the maximum I could do with the Windows virtual machine. Overall, everything works fine. So this version and the version that is currently in the GitHub are not that far apart. So there are only a couple of minor bugs fixed here in the new version with respect to the one that is possible to be installed with Windows. So I don't think there will be any major differences of user experience, for instance, and hopefully you can also update it later on very easily. Okay, so if you go to the Exo-Striker web page, to the GitHub page, so you can go to the README install, and there are a number of instructions. For example, if you want to install with Anaconda, if you want to install it with, so it should be as easy as pip install Exo-Striker. Here the example is with 3.10, and there were a couple of problems with 3.12 and 3.13, the newer version of Python, which handle the F2Py installation a little differently. So luckily we fixed these problems on macOS installation and Linux, but we still have some problems with Windows. So I would just move here to Windows, and there are step-by-step installation guide, so it's not too difficult. So basically you need only three things. So you need only to download the Python, and the Python will be working today, it's 3.10 only, even though if you have, let's say, on your native Windows machine 3.13, we should install Python 3.10 alongside with Python 3.13, for instance, and that would not interfere with your usual setup. This will be only needed to power the Exo-Striker. Okay. And we also gonna need the Fortran, of course, and we need to install the winlibs, and we need to install the Microsoft Visual C++ build tools. So only these three things. And then if everything works fine, there are a couple of more steps here that needs to be done. For example, we have to put the executables into the system path, and the Exo-Striker should in principle work fine. Okay, so the first thing we should do is to open the perhaps install the Python first. Yeah, so if we go here in the Python releases, like I said, we will be working only with Python 3.10, so you have to scroll down a little bit to find where is the Python 3.10. Yeah, I guess this one, this Windows installer, it's what you would typically need. I'm not sure whether I install exactly 3.10.11, but we shall see. The next one is the winlibs. Okay. Okay, so here what you would need is okay, so I think it is safe to use this GCC 14.2.0, but you need this with POS6 threads, and you need with all the libraries as explained over here. So here you need the x64 POS6 without the libraries. Okay, so they are without and with. So basically I think what you need is to download either the zip archive or the 7-zip archive. I think 7-zip is much smaller, so maybe you try this one. Okay, so remember, these binaries are the one that you need, in particularly the zip archive over here or the 7-zip archive. The next thing is to download the Microsoft build tools. Hopefully I have internet. If not, okay, we can just quickly move to the Windows machine. Like I said, here is installed everything, so we just move to the test bench machine. Maybe we just open everything here, right? So we just install the Windows, the Python version. Okay, so it seems that I don't have internet at this point, but luckily I already downloaded everything we need, because at least the winlibs are kind of bulky, so I already okay, the internet just came, fine. So one has to go and find the Windows, the Python installer. I already no, maybe I didn't. Okay, so here we need to scroll down and download the Windows installer. Okay, so let's try this first. Meanwhile, I can just move to the winlibs. Okay, we go over here. So unfortunately, this is a bit bulky. So I'm not gonna download it now, but just remember that you need to click on one of those, yeah? This or this, and that will download this zip file or 7-zip file, and you need to unarchive it, okay, uncompressed, and this is the library that you need for the winlibs. So let's first move for the Python, and we'll get back to the to these libraries over here. Okay, so we install Python 3.10. Okay. So I think this is the only step that we need to do today, because the others I already set up, but we don't need to go through all the details. So if you have these 3 steps installed, there should be no problem to run the Exo-Striker. Good. Okay, so that should be already done. Meanwhile, there are a couple of other things that need to be done. All right. Well, yeah, unfortunately it's a little slower, but should work. Okay, so I just close this thing here. Okay, so we have installed Python 3.10. So if you go to the installation guide, you will see that the Python should be installed under username, your username, app data, local programs, Python, and yeah, should, for example, here it's 3.11, but in our case should be 3.10. So let's go here. So this is the first step. I think we can do the following, maybe another tab over here. If you go to users, now in my case it's Exo-Striker user is the name. So here you don't see the app data, but yeah, you can just app data, type it, it's kind of hidden. Yeah, so you need to go to local, then to programs, then Python, and you will see the Python 3.10 installation. Now here this one additional step, yeah, you need to rename this executable file here. And just name it 3.10, okay? And the reason for that is to not interfere with your existing Python, because I suspect that you might not be using 3.10, you might be using 3.13, for instance, yeah? So we need to go to let's see, here it's explained. We need to search for environmental variables. So if we just open here, type edit system environment, system variables, you need to go to here, and you go to path, you do edit, and here we have to put the path to the Python, okay? It's important step. Here actually I will just copy it. So it needs to look like this. I think it should be with C. Hold on a second. Yes, okay. Should be like this. Here we put 10, and here we change the username. In my case is ES user. Okay, you can copy this thing here, and you need another one, which will be scripts at the end. Okay, now everything is set up in the path. And in principle, now if you call the CMD, the command prompt, and you type Python3.10, it should be working. Okay, so this is the first step has been done. The next probably is to install the winlibs. Like I said, after you download the zip file from the winlibs website, I'm not gonna do that. It's kind of heavy. In principle, it's like yeah, let's see, uncompressed. It's almost 1 gigabyte. I'm not really sure that we all need, you know, all the winlibs over here. Probably we need only fraction of those binaries, but yeah, I think that this is the easiest way, is just to install everything in one go. And the chances are that you're gonna need it if you're, or you might have it already, if you are doing research on exoplanets or any astrophysics with Windows. So these are important libraries. Good. So what we need to do is to copy this directory into the program files. So you go to C and then program files, and I have already installed that. Okay, so I just copy paste it over here beforehand, so that will have all the binaries we need. So we need to actually add the path also to the binaries here. So if in general, if you have not linked that, if you type G Fortran, that will say G Fortran is not recognized. But if you do the following step, if you go to the path and you do edit, then new, but here you have to put bin, okay, and then you do okay. So this is how it should look. You should have C users, your user, update local programs Python3.10. That points to the exe file that we modified, that we renamed. And you need to also give the same path, but also with scripts. And also you should provide, you know, a variable to the bin directory here in the winlibs. So in principle, that's it. Okay, so I guess that will not work now, but okay, so if I just open it again, command prompt, okay. So if I type G Fortran, okay, interesting. Okay, yes, it's a little slower as I said, but generally the G Fortran is now installed. Okay, so just to test it, everything works. If you type G Fortran, it should say okay, you don't have the you have not provided input files. And if you type Python3.10, you should open the Python. So this is the first things that you would need. Okay, now is the Microsoft build tools. Basically, you go to the web page, everything is provided, links are provided. So you go to the build to the build tools exe. I already downloaded it, so basically we will just open the downloads. Okay, here I have it 1, 2, 3 times already. If you click on the exe, okay, so you need to install only this thing here, desktop development with C++. So I'm not sure whether we need all this. I think the Windows 11 SDK is taking a lot of memory, a lot of disk space, but there are chances that some of these actually will be needed. So I would just click on the desktop environment with C++ and install that. I have downloaded that, so I'm not going to deal with that now, but you should definitely install those. Okay, so we made basically all the steps needed to install the Exo-Striker. We can go back now to Python, to the command prompt, and all you need to do is to type Python3.10 -m pip install Exo-Striker, and hopefully that would work. Alright, so moment. Sorry, so basically this is not gonna work. Actually, we need to define the version. If you remember in the beginning of the video, I mentioned that we need to select one specific version, because after version 0.92 we did a couple of improvements which are now not exactly working on Windows. So one has to install the latest 0.92. So keep in mind that this is the way to go. At least for now, you need to use Python 3.10 and Exo-Striker 0.92.9. So if we run the last, after it's done, we run the last command, and let's hope everything works fine. Okay, that's normal output. I hope this looks good so far. Nothing suspicious. We just have to wait a little bit to build the Swift library. No errors reported, and now the Exo-Striker should power, hopefully. Here it is. Okay, that's it. Now we have fully functional Exo-Striker. Again, we can work normally, and that's it. Now, one thing that you should remember, in case you already install the Exo-Striker this way without specifying the exact version, and you install another version that it's unfortunately not working at this point, you better remove the whole Exo-Striker directory. Before that, you probably should do, let's say, uninstall the Exo-Striker. Okay, but then there will be another directory that is left under side packages. There will be lib, rvmod, and probably there will be some binaries left there, because this is something that the user actually created when the Exo-Striker has been executed. So for instance, even after the Exo-Striker has been removed, and for example, if you have another version that is like 0.93 which doesn't work, trying to install the Exo-Striker 0.92.9 will still find the old binaries and might not like that and might not actually progress. So I would just quickly show, even though we uninstalled the there there will be still a lib library over here, remnant. So one should probably do on Windows is like rmdir as to remove everything, and then lib. So okay, like this. Okay, and now if you type dir, there will be no more Exo-Striker. So there will be some other stuff left, but we can just actually go back and remove the whole Exo-Striker directory. Yes, we remove it. Okay, so now there's no Exo-Striker at this point. Maybe we can just install it again. Okay, like this. This is the right command. So once the Exo-Striker has collected all the numpy, scipy, modpotlib, pyqt, etc., should be much easier. I am even tempted to update the git, the pip installation. So okay, let's do it. It doesn't matter, but all right. So generally, if you type Exo-Striker or Exo-Striker, so generally, if you install the, generally now if you run, generally now if you install the Exo-Striker desktop create, it will compile the binaries again. Okay, this is only the first time you're running it. Okay, so there will be a lot of warnings here that needs to be cleaned, but overall nothing that you should worry about it. All right, and then Exo-Striker should work again. Here it is. Okay, I hope that was useful, and looking forward to fix the Exo-Striker for Python 3.13, and I will post another video.